Air with Low.
Brandon Spivey, and we are the Mark Out Movie Podcasters.
Yep. And on today's episode, we are doing a little bit of wrestling with the Marks.
It's still real to me, damn it! A little bit of the bubbly.
No, I've been here 8.5 months. I told you when I first got here, I keep looking each and every day, further up that ladder, and things getting better and better. Put an old nasty dog.
Hey, I love it. I love the intro. All right. Wrestling with the Marks.
Yes.
Brandon, you said that this episode is dedicated to a specific mark. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I think you said on August 5th. We weren't close friends, but we did talk about wrestling. He would tag us and stuff. We talked about movies as well. But Chris Gasky passed away, and since it kind of landed on my pick, I felt we should just dedicate this episode to him. I know he did follow the podcast before he got sick. He would always comment and always tag us and stuff. So I just felt we should show some love to him. And I don't know, it just kind of hit me. Like, I didn't know him personally, but when he would talk about wrestling, and he would tag us in old stuff. But I just felt the passion from him, and I just felt like we should do something, for him and to remember him, and this is the only way I really know how, since I didn't actually know him on that personal level. So
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Good idea. All right. But on this episode, we are going to be dealing with, I haven't really been watching WWE lately, so I don't know what is happening. And so Brandon's going to essentially catch me up. I seen one picture being shared on like social media, and it shows Kofi Kingston, Austin Creed, or whatever he goes by now, Apollo, whatever.
Xavier
I don't
Woods.
know. Xavier Woods, yeah. And some other dude. Is he in the New Day? Is that a New Day member or?
I hadn't watched Raw lately, but they did bring in somebody new, and it's leading to a heel turn, either by Kofi or Xavier.
I would say Xavier would be the better heel.
Yeah, probably. I would love for Big E to just come back, but
unfortunately,
I guess he can't get physical. But yeah, the Karrion Kross and the LOD, as you like to say, ripoffs. They don't do anything for me for this feud. So it's the only positive thing I could say about it is it's going to do wonders for Xavier Woods if he turns heel. I would hope. And I personally, you're probably right on Xavier would be the better heel, but I would love to see what Kofi Kingston would look like
as a heel.
But also I assume he would take over this group that they've been trying to get him to join. I don't see it going to like main event.
There's a group. There's a group. Yeah, I'm sorry. You just said that, and I'm like, what group? There's a group.
Yeah, it's a group. I don't remember what they're called.
Is it like Is it like a lot of black guys?
No. It's Karrion Kross, his manager, which I don't remember her name. because they've been forgettable since they joined the main roster.
They are.
The AOP, is that what they're called? With Paul
Yeah,
Ellering?
yeah, those are the guys. Is Paul Ellering still with him?
Yeah, he's with them. He's kind of their mouthpiece when Karen Cross doesn't talk.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I'm shocked you started it off here. I wasn't expecting this because it's like the lowest of the lows of storylines that are going on. But yeah, I mean, it's set up. Either Xavier's going to turn or Kofi's going to turn.
Okay.
At this stage of his career, I think it'd be best if it's a Xavier, but who knows?
Yeah, because like Kofi will continue to be in the WWE. He's had longevity, essentially, not having to really do much. But Xavier would make a better heel, but I don't think Xavier as a face would like against Kofi. I don't know how well that'd be. But yeah, so I just was mentioning something I saw, and I'm currently looking at the WWE roster. I see that the undisputed WWE champion is still Cody Rhodes. World heavyweight champion is Gunther, and women's champion is Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And then WWE's women's champion is Nia Jax. Which, listen, I'm not a fan of Nia Jax at all.
Okay,
Braun Breaker.
When we get to her, I'm going to defend her. When we get to her.
All right. IC champion is Braun Breaker. I hate his name. I wish they gave him a different name. US champion. Steiner? Yeah, Steiner. Just call him Steiner, man. Braun Breaker is so dumb. It sounds like a name that Vince McMahon came up with. It sounds like, McMahon. Let's call him Bastion Booger. Like it just sounds like a name that Vince McMahon would have came up with or something. Or
I think he was in control of it when Braun came in, but I'm not 100% sure who. I mean, obviously Vince wasn't in control creatively for everything, I wouldn't think, but
no, probably not. But still,
Triple H wasn't involved in the creative process once Vince took over at all. So.
Like I would say that Vince probably had final say so at one point, but Braun Breaker, Ryback, just names like that just scream laziness, which if Ryback hears me, nobody cares Ryback. Feed me more Ryback. Okay. All right.
Well, see, if Ryback had actual wrestling skills, he could have been something.
He could have. He lacked skills. Like, matter of fact, I'm gonna say this. In that whole Nexus, because Ryback was an original member of the Nexus. In that whole Nexus, I would say obviously Bray Wyatt had ability. I think obviously Bryan Danielson had ability. I had Wade. Man, saying it. Wade Barrett had ability. That's I like Slater. Heath
Slater. Yeah, he got kids.
I liked him. I liked him because he just was comedically. He was a great character for me. But that's
Justin Gabriel also had the wrestling talent. He just didn't have the personality for a character. But now the other two, I don't remember that.
Tyson something. His name Tyson something.
Yeah, I think he's an ambassador now for him. And the other guy, I don't know where he's at.
Oh yeah, that guy. No, I forgot all about the Q Dog guy. Yeah, that guy. No, I was talking about the other guy that was like he's supposed to be like a boxer guy. He had he wore a face mask.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
No, he didn't make it. And then the other dude that kind of looked like literally like a black John Cena.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? He had the kind of hair spiky, like the straight up.
Yeah.
But he looked like a black John Cena.
The dude that was married to one of the pop stars. He was a lawyer in real life.
David Otunga.
David Otunga, yeah.
I hate that I remembered his name, but yes. All right. But no, like literally out of the Nexus, then they literally only had like a handful of people that were actually talented, and that later on went on to do really good things once they got past the whole Nexus thing. But my point is that like names and gimmicks like that, it's
Mm-hmm.
scream Vince. Now I did like the Nexus. They ruined it by not allowing them to beat John Cena. I think they should have had a beat John Cena and kept that momentum going for a little longer. But that's just me.
Correct. A lot of people thought that.
Oh yeah. Did you feel that way?
Oh yeah, Chris Jericho
Okay.
felt that way. Like a lot of people felt. They said John killed their career,
Mm.
which it happens. I don't think he intentionally. Vince gets final say. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I didn't mention so LA Knight is United States champion,
yeah,
and
we got to talk about
then
it.
Andrade is the what is the
He's,
WWE Speed champion?
oh, that's
Is
the
that
matches that are like a 10 minutes or under. It's like it took over the cruiserweight division, I believe, or that cruiserweight
oh
show they used to have. I think it's on YouTube now. I don't really know. I've never seen it. I knew they had a champion because he beat the dude that Braun Breaker took out that sent into AEW. I can't remember. Ricochet. He was their
oh
champion. That
you know what
Speed
we should do?
champion.
You know what we should do sometime is have a Wrestling with the Marks list show of the worst titles in the history of wrestling. Not only the variations, I would allow for the variations of the specific titles, but also of actual titles. So like the 24/7 title,
That's probably the
the
worst for
hardcore
me.
title, the hardcore title.
I like the hardcore title during the Attitude Era. Like,
I liked it when it was the broken belt that
mhm.
was broke up. I loved that, but I didn't like it got gimmicky. Uh,
But Crash
yeah,
made
yeah.
that title so, like, he made it kind of important. Crash and
Mhm.
Crash on his own, but Hardcore Holly did too. I mean, I like Boss Man as the Hardcore champion, but it was entertaining. Like a lot of guys got a spot on WrestleMania because of that title. So I think WrestleMania 16, 17
Mhm.
is like a 10 to 15 man turmoil match or whatever it was.
Mhm.
But that title could have been elevated, like with someone like Taz and Raven. I know
Mhm.
Raven had it, and he did defend it at WrestleMania against Big Show and Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought Big Show and Kane would have been fighting for the hardcore title at WrestleMania? It's probably a downgrade.
See,
But
yeah, that is a downgrade. That's a bit of a downgrade.
But for Raven, it was good. It was like I'm working with two former heavyweight champions in WWE.
Mhm.
So
And
yeah,
Raven at that time was more of a veteran than both of them. He's been in the game
yeah, he
a
was.
lot
They
longer.
never used him like that though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, yeah, Johnny Polo, who can forget or whatever his name was. But also, I turn it back over to you. I guess World Tag Team Champions is Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
For
McDonough,
a little bit, yeah. They're
yeah,
about to
and
lose it.
then are they not now?
No, they're about to lose it.
Oh,
Storyline wise,
it,
they're going to lose it to Jey Uso and Sammy. They're going to join that
okay.
bloodline feud that's coming.
And then the Bloodline. Speak of which, is the WWE Tag Team Champions.
One of them's
Specifically,
hurt.
yeah, it's the
Jacob
Wolfman
Fatu.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu.
How did he injure himself? What did he injure?
When he flew off the top rope and landed on Cody on the table, he broke his foot or something. I have never heard the exact injury, but a lot of speculation was he broke his foot when he landed. And I was like, well, because he was supposed to get up.
Yeah.
Because Roman and him was supposed to have an interaction, and it didn't get to happen.
Yeah. So that makes sense. And then Unholy Union is the women's champion. Whoever that is. Listen, I don't know these people. I know the sort of the Bloodline champions because of my fandom of the Bullet Club. But And it's crazy if you think about all the Bullet Club members that's in WWE. By the way, it's crazy. Um, there's other champions. There's the NXT champion Ethan Page, whoever that is.
He's from
Uh,
AEW.
Roxanne Perez is the NXT Women's Champion. It's Oba Femi is the North American champion. He looked like a guy that might. Hopefully, he's got some talent because he looks huge. All right,
He's a monster
Kalani
down there.
Jordan. Women. I hope they use them better, use them well. Though. That's the thing, man. Whenever they get caught up, realistically, they don't do as well. And then Chase U, NXT champion, tag team champions, and Charlie Dempsey is the Heritage Cup champion. Okay. Where you want to start at?
Well, I can't really start at NXT because I don't watch.
Okay.
But I know who that one champion is because he's a monster. I'm not sure which. Before Carmelo got called up, I think he was like a champion there. I don't know if he beat Carmelo, but
does he have personality at all, or
no, he's just a big monster, man. He reminds me of not Moose. Yeah, I guess a little bit of Moose from TNA. From what I've seen, but he's like, I think he's bigger. Like I've only like seen little clips of him, so I haven't really had seen him talk or nothing. So, but he's a monster heel over there. He's kind of doing what Braun Breaker did, destroying people when he turned heel. So I think they're going to kind of use him in the same format. He's going to destroy a lot of people for a couple of years, get called up.
it didn't run through people?
Because you're right. Because when they get called up to the main roster, especially if they're that type of character, they do well until they go up against like the face of the company, and then they fall completely down.
Yeah.
I hate guys like Umaga, Tensai. I mean, even what was his name? Otis? No, Otis.
Yeah.
No, the big dude that was with AJ for a while.
Titus.
Is his name Titus?
No.
No.
It has an O in it, right?
Yeah. Something.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. It's like not Uso, some big dude that is
big dude, yeah,
big dude that is pointless. If you're that big, man, they should. This is what I think WWE should do with big guys. I think that they should bring back Taker on a coaching basis to work with big guys to help develop them to know how to move, how to properly work.
I like the idea. I also think they should bring back the Big Show to help train the really big guys. Like that was like similar to his size.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because listen, and that's one thing I never liked, even with Big Show. I never liked to see big guys like Show do anything off of like the top rope or drop kicks. Even though yes, it's impressive that they can do that, I don't like seeing it. It's just like I came up in the era of the Andres and the Big John Studs and the and even Kevin Nash, who portrayed himself as a big guy, so yeah, I just like
Kevin Nash is not getting on the top rope for anybody.
No, he's not. No, he ain't getting on top rope. He barely.
He'll tear a quad, man.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
He doesn't. As long as he's getting paid, he'll tear anything.
Yeah. You pay me, I'll tear it. I'm just for reference. I'm also pulling up TNA's website, and what is the other one that people? What is it? AEW?
You forgot already?
Yeah, because they're forgettable. Okay.
How dare you, Aaron? How dare you speak that way?
What do they have going on in AEW?
Well, Shane McMahon's about to sign with them. There's a rumor, more of a theory, that Vince is behind it all, getting ready to buy AEW.
I can see that.
I hope he does in a way. because
That would be kind of
it'll make the okay. They got great wrestlers. But they don't know how to tell a story in the ring whatsoever. Well, some of them do, but a lot of them just don't take direction. If you listen to what CM Punk has said and Jim Ross, they don't like taking advice from older people that know the business, like such as Arn Anderson.
yeah.
So I think if someone like Vince took over, he would get certain things under control. Or Shane, for that matter. I think he would get things under control. And I think that's what they need. They need an actual boss, not someone that's trying to be their friend.
You know what? I would agree with that as well. Like with AEW, I feel like AEW is a like
WCW?
they no. Yeah, I give that. But no, AEW, like the idea that they can be disrespectful and, well, I can do what I want, but don't really respect the business, respect those that came before them. Like the Young Bucks. Young Bucks
Yep.
has essentially, like, I'm not that much of a fan of theirs no more because of how they handled the business with AEW. It was the handwriting's on the wall when Cody left. And you're like, why is Cody leaving?
I think it was because of them. I really do. And I know CM Punk leaving was because of them. Well, not just him, but Jack Perry, but Adam Page, which I like Adam. I like Cowboy, but he's really dropped with that company since he lost that world title to Punk, and he's never really recovered, from what I gather. Even MJF is not
as banging as he was.
Yeah, he's just. I don't watch him anymore, which I can't, but I never really hear anything. Like, all I hear about is they want Jericho to retire.
Yeah. I'm looking at this.
I mean, I kind of get it. He's in his 50s. His body doesn't look the same. But it's so disrespectful to tell somebody you need to retire. That's given so much to the business. If he was in WWE, I don't think these fans would be saying that. They weren't saying it about Undertaker.
Yeah, at one point I thought AEW was gonna be. I'll say this about WWE too. I thought AEW was gonna be like real competition to WWE, but in looking at it, I feel like they dropped the ball as most companies that try to go up against WWE does drop the ball. Now I give my hat off to TNA, who says no, let's work with WWE to kind of. Unless they're not doing it anymore, but let's work with them in a way to kind of.
Dude keeps popping up on NXT. I expect when his contract ends with TNA, he will be on NXT full time. I forget his name, but he's really popular.
Yeah, see now I like that. Now what will save AEW is if WWE agrees to do like a triple invasion with AEW, TNA, and WWE. That could save AEW to make them look good because, listen, WWE truly is where the big boys play. It truly is where it is the actual, it is the creme de la creme. And then if anybody ever comes in and says that it isn't, they are lying. WWE is the juggernaut in wrestling.
It is. I mean. But AEW had a shot. I mean, I think that's what Cody wanted. He wanted to compete with them. And the other guys really didn't want that. They just kind of wanted to have fun and do their own thing. And they didn't take it seriously like Cody does. That's one thing I give Cody credit for to this day, man. He takes the business seriously. And the Young Bucks didn't. I think, talking about one of their top guys in AEW, I think Kenny Omega needs, when his contract ends, he needs to go to WWE.
Yeah.
I don't staying in AEW is not. I don't see the point. Really, he's done all he can do there.
I would say this too, man. With the way that Jack Perry handled that with Punk, I think he ruined any possibility of him coming to WWE anytime soon. As long as Punk's there.
As long as Punk's there, and Punk's talking about after he retires, helping out with the younger guys. So he's going to be there regardless. So,
yeah. And
I don't know. I mean,
but
if Punk can make
you,
amends with Triple H, he can make amends with Jack Perry. I mean,
yeah, but Jack has to be humble
oh yeah,
and
definitely.
take the
Jack's
knee. He has to take the knee, man. And
yeah, and I like Jack. I was a big fan of the Jungle Boy character. I liked his work with Christian. I think Christian really got him
mhm.
a little bit over to like, well, we can take this guy as a main eventer. I think that was Christian's job, and I think he succeeded. Then the whole Punk thing happened, and now he is a main eventer on there. So I mean, it benefited him what happened to him.
Mhm.
But yeah, he needs to be more humble.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if your goal is not to get to WWE, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. If your goal is not to get to WWE, then what are you there for? Because yes, hey, I think like ultimately, like MJF turned down money with WWE, I guess, to stay with AEW. But I think ultimately MJF may eventually make that jump.
I
Uh,
think after his next contract ends, he'll be there.
yeah. Now, I would any Japanese fans coming, I wouldn't recommend any Japanese wrestlers. I mean, coming, I wouldn't recommend because I feel like WWE as of right now don't know how to really utilize the Japanese talent, and so Okada, he's excellent, but it might be for the best for him not to, and maybe he can't because of his like maybe NJPW. He
Yeah.
still has something maybe with them. Christian, I can't see Christian. I'm gonna always call him Christian. I can't see Christian coming back. To WWE just yet. Not that he left on wrong bad terms, I don't think, but I just don't. I think that
They won't use
you
him.
know, huh?
They won't use him. I mean, okay, I can't hear you. Mike went out or something. I don't know. It's like frozen. It's weird. But yeah, I don't think they would use Christian because, I mean, obviously it was under the Vince McMahon regime, but they just never looked at him as a main event player, and now he's in his 50s. I just don't think they would use him. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Did I disappear? Anything happen with me
You
on the screen?
froze. You froze and
All
went
right.
like to like a triangle.
Yeah, and then my
You just it flipped, and it's like you were just
yeah
froze.
yeah. It's gonna be a weird episode. Anyway, go
I
ahead,
thought maybe you
continue.
got a phone call or something.
Yeah, I did. My wife called. Um,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
okay. So let's get to the main storylines going on because we're at
yeah.
almost
Okay,
the 30-minute mark. I guess we can start with the bloodline.
okay.
Roman came back. They're setting up Roman versus Solo. I don't know if it's going to happen at Bash in Berlin, but it's definitely happened at Bad Blood. Where do you see this, or where do you hope this ultimately goes with this Bloodline Civil War feud? It's obviously
I
going
would
to
like to
Survivor
see.
Series for War Games, but what are you hoping for?
I would like to see the Usos get back together because it's stupid to have them separated. It's dumb. I hope also the Yeet thing dies, if it hasn't already.
It
Uh,
hasn't. It's
and
over. Really over.
uh,
It's not
it,
done.
uh, um,
It's not as big as but it's up there.
yeah. But yeah, I do want that. I do like the idea of what is you said his name. I
Jacob
do like no.
Solo.
The Canadian guy.
Oh, Sammy.
Sami Zayn, yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
do like the idea of, huh?
definitely happening. It's definitely happening.
Yeah, I like the idea of him being part of it. I don't see how it can go other than you bring The Rock in, but then if you bring the Rock in, which it would be cool, um, one or two things is gonna have to happen. Rock will have to win, like beat them and still look menacing, or Rock will have to swerve and join the Reigns bloodline. I
Not
say
happening.
that
Not
well,
happening.
I say that because of the because unless Rock is okay with putting Roman over, which he may be okay with just putting Roman over, doing the job and putting him over. I just don't. I think that this heel variant of Rock is such a great variation of Rock, final boss of Rock. Um, I don't see them having him do the job. But I could see him maybe turning on everyone and just going on his own, or maybe I don't know. I just don't know where they will go with it. I don't see uh uh what's the name Solo. I don't see Solo being like the main one for his bloodline because I never thought Solo was strong enough to really seem like he leads the bloodline. I never thought that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with all that. I just know The Rock ain't going to swerve and be with Roman when they're about there. This whole thing is setting up Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. It's what it's all about. I don't think Rock is going to wrestle in the War Games match, though.
You think he's gonna pop up and
he's gonna pop up? I think it'll be a Bloodlines match in War Games, which is kind of stupid if they do a Bloodline match.
So who's on whose side? Who do you have?
I think you're gonna have Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn against Solo, Jacob Fatu. Are they Tonga brothers or I know one of them's called Tonga.
I think they're brothers. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Those two guys. I think you have a 4-on-4 match. The Rock appears at the end, screws over Roman. That's what I believe is going to happen. Which is going to eventually set. But I don't know. I mean, it's setting up Roman and Rock. But Rock said when he came back, he was going for Cody. So I hope he doesn't beat Cody for the title. I mean, I would love to see it personally, but I don't want to see Rock and Roman for the title.
No, yeah,
he's going to win.
Roman, I like to see Roman Cody for the title, and but for that to happen, Roman has to be heel, or Cody has to turn heel, and I don't see that. They may turn Cody. I can see them turning Cody heel before Roman because Roman's over. Roman's over. He's over.
Yeah, I wanted to actually bring this up about how many over guys there are right now. Like, really over. Like, main event. They could main event WrestleMania. Over. You got Roman Reigns. You got Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton. It's almost like an aura of The Undertaker with him. There's so much legacy there. LA Knight. He's just seems he's getting more popular. And now that he's a champion, I feel it's going to really blossom. Seth Rollins, CM Punk. Braun Breaker's not there yet, but I could see him coming. I think Gunther's going to be like the biggest heel in a long time. Like we hadn't seen a heel quite like him in a long time. Like Roman Reigns' level of hatred when he was in charge of the Bloodline. I think Gunther's on his way to becoming there. But it's like 6 or 7 guys I just named that actually could main event WrestleMania. And Drew's up there too. Drew's a great heel. He reminds me so much of 97 version of Bret Hart. He does. Yeah.
Like Drew McIntyre, me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I get Bret Hart vibes from him.
Yeah, what I hope is Gunther is protected in a way of because he is like out of everyone that you mentioned, Gunther and LA Knight are the future of the business. I think they're
young guys. They're not young.
Yeah, they're not young guys, but I can see them going for a while. And then I would say in looking at the rest of the roster here, like I'm trying to find the other guy that I was thinking about, like that I think would be like I can't find him, man. What's his name?
I didn't even mention Kevin Owens. He's over too. I mean,
yeah, Kevin Owens. What's the guy's name that is? I forget his name. Austin Theory. Yeah, Austin Theory. I feel like he he can sell. He's really good at selling.
Mhm.
And he's a really good heel. Also, speaking of really good heel, Dominic Mysterio is probably one of the best heels in the business.
Oh,
Um,
he's like so hated. He's just
yeah.
it's great. It really is. But since you brought up Dom, I guess we can go there. The New Day, not New Day, the New Judgment Day against the Twin Terrors is what they're being called right now.
Who's the Twin Terrors?
Damien and Rhea Ripley. That's what
That's
they started calling
dumb.
them. It
That's
reminds me of the
terrible.
Twin Towers with Big Boss
I
Man and
know,
Hakeem. I
but
like
I don't
the
like
old
that.
school though, but but obviously this is all lead. I believe this is leading. And I thought Rey Mysterio would retire this year at WrestleMania with this upcoming WrestleMania
I
against
wish he
Dom.
would. I wish he would. Be
I thought
honest.
that was going to be the plan, that Ray is retired by his own son. But I actually could see this Rhea Ripley versus Dom Mysterio at WrestleMania. What do you think of that? I know it's kind of
I'll be
like
okay
Mark
with it.
Mero and Sable, but
Yeah, I'll be okay with that because it would actually be a really good. I think it'd be a really good match, especially if they really because Rhea is gonna wrestle like a man. Uh, I give a shout out to WWA, World Wrestling Alliance. It's like a local wrestling organization.
yeah.
They wrestle typically in Owensboro. They do here at the fairgrounds. But hats off to them. They actually like have women wrestling men in matches, but nothing like it's not like, oh, call it out. Like, no, they're wrestling with each other. And they had a woman as their champion before. Um
Hmm.
so yeah, and she was good. She was really over. And so I was like, man, it's pretty boss. So yeah, I can actually see that happening. And I'm okay with that. Because Dom gets uh, Andy Kaufman levels of hate.
He does.
Um,
He really does.
and I'd love to see them do a variation of like what Andy used to do, like with women. But of course, Rhea
He's
can
got to be
go.
careful, though. He's got to be careful. It's a slippery slope. I mean, he starts wrestling women. Like Jericho was in the same situation when he fought China, had that feud with China.
Mm,
Like he could
mm.
have. You got to be careful, though. I mean, you don't.
Be, or
If
you
you've got
become
aspirations to be in the main event, sometime you got to be careful. You don't want to become a comedy act.
you don't want to become Santino
You
Morella.
don't. You don't. And I feel like Dom can one day be a future world champion because he's so hated.
He's very listen, and it's crazy because this guy is literally Rey Mysterio's kid. But I just see Eddie in everything that he does. I
Yeah.
see Eddie Guerrero, and he's like the second coming of Eddie Guerrero,
Yeah,
like
it
heel
really is.
Eddie, and I love it. I love it, man. Like he even has that little smug like type of, it's just like, man, just like if they do well with him, he's gonna he like you said, he can literally be one of the best. He's over
Yeah.
in the
And
business
on
for sure.
the flip side of that, Damian Priest is eventually going to wrestle Finn Balor.
Hmm.
I really hope. I've always seen comparisons with Damian that he's got the Undertaker look, and I see it. I do. I have actually become a fan of Damian Priest over the last few months. I hated him before. I didn't
Yeah.
see anything in him. When he won Money in the Bank over LA Knight, I was like, that was a mistake. I still to this day feel it was a mistake. I felt LA Knight was ready for that moment, and they just didn't want to give it to him. But Damian wasn't, and it took him about a whole year to get there. But I actually thought his match with Gunther was fantastic at SummerSlam. Like, I didn't care about
Mhm.
that match going into it. It didn't have much of a build. The build was fine, but it was one of my favorite matches at SummerSlam. He's really grown on me. So I really do look forward to his character
Development.
developing, and
Mhm.
obviously I think he's gonna beat Finn, but I hope Finn brings back the Demon for this feud.
Yeah.
I miss
Yeah.
Finn Balor, man.
Uh,
he's one of the more talented guys they got, and they just haven't used him properly at all while he's been in Judgment Day.
Damian Priest is a huge mark of Scott Hall, and and he gives me Razor vibes most times in the ring. I didn't like I didn't know what his gimmick was at first with the whole arrow thing. They don't know what to do with people at first, man. And so, but I think that he's kind of developed it a little bit more. But yeah, I would love to see the Demon come back. But I think everybody would love to see that. What's your thoughts on? I was seeing it and I thought about it, and I was going to ask you, what's your thoughts on the Wyatt Six? Is that still a thing?
It is.
Right.
They won their first match on Raw. It's building towards a bad match between Bo Dallas and Chad Gable, which I feel they've kind of dropped the ball on Gable. I feel like he should have became Intercontinental Champion, but he didn't. And I don't know. I love Bo. I believe. I will always believe. But I'm glad he's doing this. I haven't seen Raw, so he hasn't been part of the PLEs. So I don't know how over it is. I think it's pretty over, but I really don't know. I don't see it reaching the depths of what Bray Wyatt was able to do. I don't see it being that popular, but
listen,
time will tell.
I just came across Lexus King, who is clearly Brian Pillman's kid.
Yeah.
Making Brian Pillman Jr., man. I hate this.
Well, I think they didn't because of his work in AEW.
Did he go by Brian Pillman Jr. and you couldn't? Is that not his name?
That's his name, but the audience didn't really react to him. He was kind of plain. I think this is working for him.
King is such a terrible name. That's what I'm saying.
I think the character's working for him.
He's pretty much. He looks like his dad, circa 90 something. Whenever he was with the Hart Foundation, or maybe feuding with Austin, before that time frame. That's who he reminds me of. That grungy. So like with Braun. So is Braun over as well? Braun Breaker, not Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman can't. He's so not over. Braun Breaker, I believe, is
Breaker. Yeah.
I'm excited when he comes out. But I don't think the audience. He's not getting the same reactions he did in NXT. I do know that. But I think over time he will be what they are hoping he will be. But I'm glad you brought him up because he is the Intercontinental Champion. He's probably going to be IC Champion for a good while. What are you hoping for? What feuds are you hoping to see him in?
I don't know the guy.
You don't know Braun Breaker?
I never really watched him work.
He's great.
I've maybe seen him at the Royal Rumble. I think I seen him watching it in the Royal Rumble, but
he's being billed as the next Brock Lesnar, next big thing kind of gimmick.
Yeah,
and he's going to be.
Listen. That gimmick. They do that. But Lesnar was supposed to be a Goldberg. Let's be real. He was going to be, but he was better. He was a better worker than Goldberg ever would have been. He could actually do work and do a match and shoot. And so you have, but then they try to build Ryback to be like a Goldberg / no, maybe not Lesnar, but he was trash. I'm saying that there's people that they try, but Braun comes from good stock. Braun Breaker comes from good stock with the Steiner stock.
Shoot, wrestle. He can tell a story. He's got the whole package, like Brock had.
Yeah, I hope for him to. He will eventually be a world champion.
Oh, no doubt.
But I want to know how his character is going to develop over time. I like to see personality. And going back to personality, even with Brock Lesnar, like he needed a Heyman to bring out the personality until he didn't. Until Braun said, "Let me be me." Brock Lesnar. I mean, until Brock Lesnar was like, "Let me be me. Let me have a cowboy hat. Let me be like a country guy. I'm gonna be me." And people fell in love with that Brock Lesnar. You know,
Yeah.
having a good time, Brock Lesnar. He had a good time, but
I
but
don't
yeah,
think Braun needs a mouthpiece at all.
can
I
he
think he's
talk?
got. Yeah, I think he can. I mean, could Scott Steiner talk? Sometimes.
Big fat booty daddy. Uh,
He was much
yeah,
better than Sid. That's for sure.
big bad booty daddy. I'm the. Oh yeah, I can't do it.
Just don't get him to do math. That's
Yeah, Brock.
No, I think Braun
Yeah.
is going to be fine, but I would say, and this goes to SmackDown too with LA Knight. The mid card division is not great. You know, I mean, you had Gunther as the IC champion, who really was a main event star.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Sammy, and we know he's main event level. So the IC title really doesn't have a lot of great mid-card challengers. It's the same issue over there in SmackDown with LA Knight. It doesn't have a lot of great challengers. So that's what I hate about it, is that these guys are going to wrestle, they're going to defend the title, but they don't really have a lot of challengers like that can really compete, or that, I think he can pull off an upset. You don't really have that. Like, it looks like LA Knight's going to be taking on that Escobar at Bash in Berlin, and come on, that's wasting LA Knight.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's on the pay-per-view. I'm glad he's going to be on it, but it's wasting him.
Yeah. Speaking of which, wasted characters, because what I'm saying, it was a waste because he was good. I just looked on TNA. The Nick Nemeth is their champion.
Yeah, Dolph. Yeah.
Yeah, Dolph, man. I've always liked Dolph Lundgren. Dolph, not Lundgren. Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. I always liked him. Who is PCO?
Man, I haven't watched TNA and
I don't.
Probably since Sting was there.
There's literally no one I know. I'm looking, and I'm like, except for Dolph. Maybe Brian Myers. I remember him.
I think the Hardy Boys are there. I think that's where Matt ended up. Maybe Jeff is still in AEW. I don't know, but
Danny Luna. I think she was in WWE at one point. Frankie Kazarian's there. Eric Young's there.
Well, of course.
Gail Kim.
She's still there? She still wrestles?
Yeah. There's a guy named Jake something. I'm interested to know about that guy. JDC. He goes by JDC, but I forgot what he was in WWE. He looks so familiar. I forget his name. And then Jeff Hardy's there, and then Joe Doring. Somewhere I seen what's the name's kids are there. Not Tex Tornado, but the other
Lacey Von Erich?
The one that's still alive. His kids are there. His kids are somewhere. His sons wrestle somewhere. All right, I'm just curious. Oh, Matt Cordota is there?
I forgot what he used to be. Oh, that's Zack Ryder, isn't it?
Zack Ryder, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mustafa Ali's there.
That's not a terrible roster. I mean,
yeah, and Rhino. I mean, it's not bad.
It's better than what it used to be.
Yep. Yeah.
It's interesting that Triple H is working with TNA and Dolph's their champion. It's interesting.
It is interesting. You think it's just like, because did him and Triple H end on bad? Oh, Tommy Dreamer's there. Did they end on bad terms?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I think they have a good little. I think it's on purpose. I think TNA is secretly a WWE farm, and that they will start pulling people from TNA to utilize them and just do talent like that.
Yeah, I think
Um,
when the time comes, because Dolph was loyal to them. I think he'll be back in a few years, and I hope he gets the same treatment that Drew got. But
or Christian. I felt like when Christian came back, he was immediately he came back with more like he
yeah,
came
yeah,
back being legit.
yeah, they
Uh,
put him on ECW, but he was legit, and then of course he became after Edge retired, became world champion. Had some really good matches with Alberto Del Rio, Randy
mhm.
Orton, Sheamus. He, in my opinion, I love Christian. I always have. I always thought he was better than Edge. I think he's just a better worker. And I remember what Kurt Angle said. It just shocked me when I heard it, though. Kurt Angle said he was the best wrestler he ever worked with, and I was like,
Hmm.
"What? Really?
About Christian?
Yeah, even better than Shawn, better than Brock. Yeah, he said Christian was the best he ever worked with, hands down. That's better than Undertaker. I mean, it blew my mind that he said
Hmm.
that. It's you can't get a better compliment from someone like Kurt Angle. I mean, he wrestled Guerrero, he wrestled Benoit. It's just
Yeah.
crazy to me that he said that. But
Well, that's what it is, man. It's cool. Like that shows the respect. And speaking of Kurt Angle, like, and I know he like so when he was in WWE, he was more of a joke. But when he went to TNA,
oh yeah,
like he became a monster.
did.
And I think that they should have brought him back in WWE as that monster and not like as that joke. Because when you start bringing him back and having him be a gullible Barney Fife type of character, I think that you ruin his, the aura of who, because like he was a
Well,
legit worker.
he was. I get what you're saying, but that's also for I would say more of the Attitude Era that remember Kurt Angle. It's probably the most fond memories they have of Kurt, especially Jimmy Crack Corner. I don't care.
Hmm.
I love that. But I love all the variations of Kurt. Also, I loved his ECW persona because that's where it really started. Before he went
Hmm.
to TNA, he had an ECW persona, the mouthpiece and everything. He just took that and amped it up in TNA because he was allowed to. But I love every variation of Kurt. But we're getting short on time, so I kind of did want to.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Gunther's title reign, it starts against Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin. We know he's going to win. Do you see him going to WrestleMania as champion?
Yeah, I can see Gunther. Was he the one of the last ones in the Royal Rumble last year?
I think it came down to no. I mean, he was one of the last ones, but it came down to him and Punk, Cody and Punk, I believe.
Yeah, I would say I would see Gunther maybe winning the Rumble, but
But he's champion.
uh, huh?
So you think he's going to lose the title before Royal Rumble?
No, no. That's true. That's true. I didn't factor in that he is actually champion. Now I will see, like he's gonna beat Cody.
Randy.
Randy, yeah, Randy. He's gonna beat Randy, but Randy, I think it's gonna maybe start. Randy doesn't mind doing the job. It won't hurt Randy to do the job. But I think Randy will keep the titles at WrestleMania. Um, it depends on who wins the Royal Rumble. Is what I would say. If he does keep it, I'd love to see him keep it because it would be a disservice to have him drop it. Seeing he held the IC title so long, I
Yeah.
think he has to keep the title to
I
WrestleMania.
think he's keeping it. I don't. If you look at the roster, you look at the main event level, Seth Rollins just got taken out by Bronson Reed, who they're trying to build up as a monster. Punk and Drew is at it. They're going to be at it for the rest of the year. even when Steph comes back. It's a triangle with those guys. Who else you got? I mean,
Against Gunther,
yeah, I mean, who else could
the
possibly
only one
challenge
that I
him?
can see that
Priest
would
again?
no, but they wouldn't do it
Sammy?
because they already shot themselves in the foot. If they had not turned Chad Gable heel, I could see Chad Gable trying to
Yeah. Bo
finish
Dallas?
his
I
story
mean,
with.
I'm just throwing people out there. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't see any of these people beating Gunther for the title.
No, I see. Yeah, I don't really see any of them beating Gunther, but taking on Gunther at WrestleMania.
I think it's Cena.
Yeah, but Cena's gonna do the job. He's gonna put Gunther over, which would be great.
I don't think he will.
I think Cena needs to go out on his back because that's doing the job.
He did on his
doing,
back.
but it's good for business. It's good for business.
He hasn't
What
won
does
a
he lose?
match in
What
like
does he?
3 years.
What does he lose? By he can win a couple of matches. Matter of fact, let him win the Rumble. I'm okay with him winning the Rumble. And then getting squashed at WrestleMania, not squashed, but losing to Gunther at WrestleMania.
This is his last year, man. You can't. I see him beating Gunther at WrestleMania for the title.
But it'll make no sense. It literally serves no purpose to have him do that.
It does have a purpose. He breaks Ric Flair's record at WrestleMania. This is his last WrestleMania. I don't see him losing. The record's being broken. It's getting broken.
This is what I would rather see. I'd rather see. I'd rather see Cena versus Orton one more time, WrestleMania.
I just never been a big fan of their matches, but I think a lot of people want to see it. I think it's going to happen.
Because if you think about, because like I was looking at a video where Orton is sitting with Cody, and they're drinking and talking about like the goats and stuff, and they said the goats, the greatest of all time. You know, he says, and Wrestling said, Cody says, you know, like John, they call John the greatest of all time. But you looked at Randy he didn't say anything, but he kind of shook his head no. You know, no. Like it was a subtle micro head shake.
Yeah, I get that. It just depends how you look at it. If you're looking at it from a wrestling standpoint, no, he's not. But if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, who moved the needle, you got to include John Cena.
Yeah, but the greatest?
And I'm not
I wouldn't put it as the greatest. Yeah, he did move. I give him his props. He did have moved the needle.
Hulk Hogan is one of the greatest. And
yeah, but I would say I would say that the greatest, in my opinion,
it just depends what you're talking about.
Steve Austin. Austin is the greatest of all time in the sense of
star power. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, just all around, like just being over, just in the business, able to, just captivate. Well, Rock was able to captivate. Rock was
able to, yeah, he was. But my only issue was someone saying Stone Cold or The Rock. They weren't there very long. They weren't there a long time.
That's people's argument with Jordan, because he left. But
I'm not gonna argue Jordan. Jordan's better than LeBron. It's not even the comparison I would even want to make. If you really want to compare Michael to somebody,
Kobe.
I wouldn't even compare him to Kobe. I don't think Kobe came close to Michael. He tried to play like Michael, but I'm fond of Bird and Magic, man. I'm in their prime, man. And they changed the game. Then Jordan changed it too. But I would compare those three. Those are the best players I've seen play the game. Personally seen play the game on TV. They were the best for me. They're not my best. They're not my all-time favorites. Allen Iverson was my all-time favorite. I just thought he was so small. What he was able to do is just unbelievable. But no, I mean,
I was trying to see the comments on Facebook, but I'm not able to see it. By the way,
But I know a lot of people say Austin, and some people even say The Rock, but I'm not a fan of his at all.
okay.
But
Well,
I'm going to give the respect to The Undertaker.
yeah, Taker is overall. Taker is by far one of the greatest.
I mean, if he's not
Uh,
on your Mount Rushmore,
no, he's totally in the Mount
I'm
Rushmore.
just talking about for people that say he's not. You're a hater, and I'm kind of talking to myself because for years I hated the man. I never would put him on my Mount Rushmore at all because it was biased. I just didn't like him. I didn't like his character. But you look back at his history, 30 plus years on top, man. Who else can really say they did that in WWE? Nobody. No one.
and left a great legacy.
Yeah.
Okay, I got I can see him now. All right, Matthew Carter says, "Hey, Aaron and Brandon, since you're speaking on WWE, my favorite female wrestler is Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Also, how was Borderlands, Brandon?"
Quite possibly the worst movie of the year.
All right,
It brought back really bad video game adaptations.
yeah,
So,
yay. My Jennifer Chino, aka my dude Randall Shane, is probably there. My dude Randall, OVW, not an OVWP. Anyway, I think we see Damien versus Finn at Bad Blood in a cage. And then he also says he didn't want to use the name Pillman. Thank you for that. Alexis came from his sister who passed away. King was the last name of his stepfather who raised him. Okay, that's cool, man. I didn't know that. So thank you for the insight. That's why on the next Wrestling the Mark, I might need to get my dude Randall on here because he is a walking dictionary when it comes or encyclopedia. Whatever one has names of people and stuff. That's him.
okay. So, like, real quick, we haven't talked about Cody's title run.
Yep.
Ultimately, I think it's been a bad one. It's just he just hasn't had the storyline. He needs Randy Orton to turn heel so bad. He needs his own story, and I think it's been lame. I really do.
Well, with that being said, I could probably see that being the main event at WrestleMania would be Cody and Randy Orton. That would be a good one. And
I mean,
with a heel Orton.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to main event night one, and I think that's probably going to Rollins and Punk. But
because you said Rock is going to be somewhere in the fray.
Oh, Rock and Roman's main event in that show, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Okay. Rock and Roman. That's going to be WrestleMania is lining up to look really good actually. Yeah, I don't know this is my prediction of Gunther is going to go out there, floss somewhere. I don't know what show he's going to floss on. He's going to go out there. He's going to hold the title for a while. He's going to go out there. Nobody's been able to beat me. Nobody's been able to stop me. That whole stuff. And Oba Femi his music's going to hit. He's going to come out. And that's who's going to take the title from Gunther.
I still say it's going to be Cena, but that's not a bad prediction in fantasy booking. Now, as far as Cody, I think that is probably going to happen. Like, it's going to be him and Orton. I was hoping it would be sooner, but they probably are. That's a WrestleMania type match. That's a WrestleMania type feud. If I was booking fantasy league,
like
this
Aaron
is what I would
did.
do. This is what I would do. Because they already compare LA Knight to Austin a lot, and he won the United States title at SummerSlam, where Stone Cold originally won the Intercontinental title. Of course, he got hurt in that match due to that pile driver. But if he could use the U.S. title as a stepping stone and gain more popularity and enter the Royal Rumble and win it. This is just my idea. Cody versus LA Knight at WrestleMania. You get to recreate Austin versus The Rock. It levels or Warrior Hogan. You know, you can't say they're the top two baby faces since Roman's back, but it's close. Either way you look at it, it's that.
But
would
also
be how
with
I would
that,
fantasy
you gotta
book.
see. You have to see one of them be willing to do the, because the best thing about was it Cody. Did you say Rock versus who?
It was Rock and Austin. Like they were
Rock
like
and
the
Austin.
most
I
WrestleMania
was
17
thinking,
top two baby faces.
yeah, I was thinking about Brett versus Austin. Even though Austin was a heel and Brett was a face, but then by the end of the match they switched.
Yeah,
and Brett was the heel.
I could see that happening. Cody can't beat LA Knight, and he kind of turns heel. I think that's what Cody needs is a heel turn. Honestly, the babyface isn't working for me. Like when he came back, I was all pro Cody, but I think The Rock exposed him. Yeah, I think The Rock exposed him that he wasn't a very good babyface. Like, I think the people only cared because of Dusty, the story.
Yeah, and I would say this too. With that being said, like, and honestly, his brother has more charisma than he did. Now I don't like his whatever he's doing now, but anyway, but as like Goldust, he had a lot more charisma. He was. I would argue and say that he was. No, I wouldn't say he's as over as Cody, but he was over in his own way.
Yeah, he was.
But no, Cody is over. But I think Cody doesn't. I think Cody is so
vanilla,
bland. He's very vanilla. And he's gonna need something that's gonna kick him over, and it's gonna be
Orton.
Orton turning, but that's just gonna revitalize Orton. Orton is the guy that can always be a heel. He's like when I see him, I'm like, oh, he can RKO anybody at any moment. I just see it happening. But all right. Any final thoughts?
I mean, that's kind of where I see. I was fantasy booking, but as far as final thoughts, I think you hit it on now. It's going to be Cody and Randy at WrestleMania for the WWE title. Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be Gunther and Cena. Just my opinion. Punk and Seth. Actually, I don't know where LA Knight's going to fit in.
I forget about Seth Rollins, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel you'll probably have the new bloodline possibly take on the Usos tag team title unification match or something. Because in all honesty, the tag team division sucks. You only really need one champion. You don't need two.
I will make a quick prediction. I do predict that in the next Royal Rumble, Dolph Ziggler will be in the Royal Rumble.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, there's a precedent. There's a precedent with the whatever her name was, whatever her name is.
Can I make a crazy prediction?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is crazy. But I think when his contract ends in AEW, he's going to change his name, and Dean Ambrose is going to return to WWE. I never thought this would be possible, but I think the way he's being used, it's just he's not the same guy he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he first came to AEW, I think Triple H is running things. I think Seth and Roman's going to talk him into coming back home.
Yeah. Especially if Vince or Shane or anyone comes over there, it's more likely.
If Vince is secretly working, John Moxley's gone.
Yeah,
there is no doubt about that.
But good conversation with this episode. I appreciate it, Brandon.
You're welcome. Glad I can help.
Next week we're gonna do a 2B original called Low Lives. So yeah. But what do we want the people to do?
If you like this episode and you want to see more, click that like, click that subscribe, comment, and share the Mark Out Movie Podcast. And you can follow us on Facebook. And I'm sure Aaron's, I don't know if you got an X?
I do. I have everything.
He has everything. Just click on Aaron.
Click on Aaron and follow me. Why don't you? All right. In the meantime and in between time, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
we thank you for marking out with us here on the Mark Out Movie Podcast. You have a good rest of your day.